Alright, reached a big milestone. The engine's now sitting inside the boat, and all the motor mounts are fastened down. It may be aligned already because I did not disturb the height of the two front motor mount bolts. There's a nut on the top, you can see it, but there's also a nut on the bottom. That nut moves up or down to raise or lower the motor. So hopefully if you leave that bottom nut alone and it was aligned before, then when you put the motor back in, it'll be aligned. I just checked the alignment. It looks like it might be aligned. I've got to put some marks on the alignment tool to make sure it's going in the right depth, but from all appearances it looks like it's aligned already, so it saved a lot of time. The motor's in. One thing what I did was I had the chain attached both on the front and the back, so the motor was level going in, but when I was trying to get it in, it needed to tilt the back needed to tilt down in order to meet up with the rear bolts. You can see the rear bolt right there. The back of the motor needed to tilt down, and I couldn't do it because I didn't have my leveler on the engine. So what I did was, and I couldn't get these front bolts up through the motor mount and also lower it down. So what I did was I just unscrewed the 3 bolts holding both motor mounts on both sides, removed the front motor mounts altogether, lowered the engine down without front motor mounts, got the 2 back ones on, fastened them, or got the bolts started, and then worked the motor back up a little bit, reattached these bolts, or put the motor mount on the bolt and then swung it around and attached it to the motor, and that seemed to work. I think it saved some time, so as opposed to pulling it back out, put the leveler on it and trying to level it up that way. So all in all, I think it's a good time saver to go ahead and don't even put your motor mounts on the block until you get it in, and then mount the motor mounts. Put that motor mount on that bolt first, and then swing the motor mount around to the engine, and then screw the 3 screws in. That seemed to work better. So motor's in, and it's time to next is I'm going to put the intake manifold on, distributor, get the top of the motor put together, and then I'll work on the front accessories after I get the intake and the distributor in. I'm tempted to crank it up just by putting gravity, feeding the carburetor with gravity. It's not fuel injected, it's got a carburetor, so I can feed the carburetor with gravity and just jumper the ignition with 12 volts and run this thing as is, but without any cooling or exhaust on it. But I don't want to be a YouTube Darwin candidate, so I'm not going to do that. So it just means if something's wrong, I'll have to undo everything, take the motor back out. But that's on me if I make that kind of mistake. So it's all in, big milestone. Thanks for watching.